Hello there, I'm Brian, an AI avatar. Generative search doesn't pick favorites, it reduces risk. It chooses sources that are clear, corroborated, and easy to summarize without getting the answer wrong. If you understand that, you can engineer your content to be the safest option to include. A lot of people assume generative search works like a magic box. You type a question, and the AI decides what it feels like saying. That's not how the best systems are designed. In reality, modern generative search is usually a blend of two worlds: classic information retrieval, finding relevant sources, and AI summarization, turning those sources into a helpful response. So, when you ask, how does it choose which brands to show? Think of it like this. First, the system has to find credible, relevant information. Then, it has to assemble an answer that fits your intent, your constraints, and the format of the question. Brands show up when the system can confidently connect them to the solution, using sources it trusts and can reference. There are a few patterns that consistently influence whether a brand gets mentioned. The first is relevance to the specific angle of the query. If the user wants best options for small teams under $50 per user, you don't just need a great homepage, you need content that clearly addresses small team use cases, pricing structure, and the decision criteria that matter at that constraint. The second is clarity of your entity. If your brand name, product name, and offering are inconsistent across your site, directories, and third-party mentions, you make it harder for machines to confidently understand you. Ambiguity is the enemy of inclusion. The third factor is trust signals. In generative answers, the system is often trying to reduce the risk of being wrong. That pushes it towards sources with demonstrated reputation, clear evidence, and consensus. If your page makes strong claims with no proof, no specifics, and no context, it becomes hard to cite. If your page is well-structured, specific, and supported, think definitions, step-by-step explanations, transparent methodology, and real examples, it becomes easy to cite. The fourth factor is coverage of comparisons. Generative search loves comparison questions versus pages, best for lists, trade-off analysis, migration checklists, and implementation pitfalls. If you publish content that fairly compares options, including alternatives to yourself, you often become the page that gets referenced when the AI tries to explain the category. And finally, brands show up when they're present across the ecosystem, not just on their own site. If reputable sources mention you in context, if your leadership publishes thoughtful commentary, if your company is consistently described the same way across the web, you're easier to place accurately inside an answer. In generative search, your brand isn't just your website, it's your footprint. So, what should you do if you want to be one of the brands the AI chooses? Build content that answers the real decision questions your buyer has. Make your positioning unambiguous. Back up claims with specifics. And earn mentions that a machine can treat as verification, not hype. That's how you move from a site that ranks to a brand that gets included. 3. Why rankings alone no longer reflect SEO. We're a community-based platform here to help. Sign up for a free account to put your knowledge into practice and for additional help and support.